Hey y'all, we're gonna go ahead and make some cornbread. I am getting ready to make a cornbread dressing, and I need to make some simple cornbread for that. So I have just a little bit of bacon grease. You do not have to use bacon grease. You can use Crisco, whatever you like. I got about a tablespoon of bacon grease in here, and I am preheating my oven to 400 degrees. I'm gonna stick that in there and get my pan nice and hot and get that bacon grease melted. Alright y'all, in my bowl here, I have 1 cup of self-rising cornmeal. I'm using the White Lily buttermilk. Use whatever you got, whatever you can get, but just make sure that it is self-rising, okay? We're going to add 1/3 cup of regular all-purpose flour, and we're going to mix that up. We are going to need 2 eggs that we are going to put in here, and then we're going to mix that around. And then we are going to need about 1.5 cups of buttermilk, give or take. We're going to dump it in there here in a second. All right, so let's go ahead and start. We'll dump half of it. Mix that around. And I'm using farm fresh buttermilk. I like the whole buttermilk. So again, use what you got. So we want this about thinner than pudding at this point. Some days you use a bunch of it, some days not so much. Okay, I think we're gonna dump the rest of it in there and mix that up. Okay. Now you want 1 stick of melted margarine, and then we are going to put that in there, and this just gives it more of, it ups the oil content, and then what it's going to do is just give it like that little bit of butter flavor. So get that all mixed in there and incorporate it well. So we got that all mixed up, and this is what we're looking at. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to pull our heated cast iron pan out of the oven. Alright y'all, so I'm about to pull my pan out and get our cornbread in there. I want to let everybody know we do have family cookbooks available for purchase. I'll put the link above and below in the comments and tells you ways you can order that. The cornbread dressing is in this book. So let me go ahead and pull this out and we'll get this all in there. Alright y'all, so we're going to go ahead and put our batter in here. And we are going to put this at 400 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. Get my bowl cleaned. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the oven, and we'll be back here in just a little bit. Alright y'all, so that's all done. So I'm just going to let that cool down. And then again, you can use this as just regular to eat with soup beans or whatever you like. But I'm going to make cornbread dressing. So I'm going to let that cool down, and then I'm going to crumble it up. And that's what we're going to do today. So give this a try. And I will continue this video for the cornmeal dressing. Hey y'all, we're gonna go ahead and make some biscuits. So here in my bowl, I got 2.5 cups of self-rising flour. You're gonna need 1 stick of frozen butter that you have grated up, and we're gonna throw this in with our flour and get that all tossed around. We're just gonna mix the flour up with our butter. And then you're going to need about 1 cup of whole buttermilk. So let's get ready to put our buttermilk in here. So let's go ahead and put our buttermilk in here. And we're going to mix this around. So once you get your dough all together, you're going to roll it out to a rectangle, and then we're going to fold it 3 times. Okay, so once you get it like that, you're going to go ahead, and what I do is I fold mine and then fold it this way, and then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to roll it again, and I'm going to do this 3 times. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to roll this again. I'm going to turn it and I'm going to roll it again. I fold this one more time. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut some biscuits out, press down and pull straight up. Press down, pull straight up, down, straight up. If you twist, it's going to seal those edges and it's not going to be as nice. Okay. Gather my dough back up. Just give it another little roll. You can just press it with your hands if you like. Alright, y'all, so what you want to do is after you get them all in your pan, you want to just take a little bit of melted butter and put them over the top. Or you can put a little bit of buttermilk on top if you like. And we're going to put this in a 400-degree oven for about 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and get these in the oven. Alright, y'all, so they just came out and they've been in there for 15 minutes. So you just want to take some more melted butter and brush it on the top. And I will pull one up and show you what it looks like. But just make sure that your butter is frozen. It works a lot better. And even if you grate it and it kind of got warm on you, pop it back in to the freezer for just a little bit. I also have cookbooks available. I'll put the link above and below in the comments. And it tells you ways to order that. So let's go ahead and pull one of these out. There's the bottom. And you got a bunch of layers. And real flaky. So give this a try. I need a few of these for my cornbread dressing. So I will add this video into the cornmeal dressing so you guys can give that a try as well. So I hope everybody gives these a try and has a wonderful day. Alright, y'all, so now I've done the biscuits and I've made the biscuits and I've made the cornbread. So now we're going to start on the cornbread dressing. That recipe is in our cookbook. If you need our cookbook, it will be above and below the post. It's on page 8. Okay, so you need a pan of cornbread. Give or take, it's about 3.5 cups. Then, my grandmother said you can either use biscuits or you can use hamburger buns. So you about need 4 cups, which I'm just going to use 4 biscuits. And we're going to go ahead and I got my cornbread all crumbled up in here. And you crumble it to how you want. Some people like it fine, some people don't. And then I'm going to take the biscuits and I'm going to crumble it in here as well. And we're going to get all this together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get all my biscuits crumbled in and we're going to mix it in with our cornbread. Again, you can use regular bread, hamburger buns. She uses whatever she has. So we got that all mixed up here. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit of seasonings to this. Before we move on to the next step, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of sage. And again, it's up to you on your seasoning. Some people do not like it. Some people do. Okay, and then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of poultry seasoning. Now we are going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. A 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. 2 tablespoons of parsley. Okay, we're going to go ahead and toss this together. So once you get that mixed together, you're going to set this to the side. And now my grandmother would take a pan and she would put her onions and her celery in there with a little bit of butter and soften them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of chicken stock in here with the onions and the celery, and we're going to soften them. Yeah, so I'm going to take, we got 2 cups of onions that are chopped. We're going to put them in our saucepan, and 2 cups of celery. We're going to put that in there, and then I'm going to take some chicken stock, and she uses 2 cans of chicken stock. That's 2 cups, and I'm just going to go ahead and top them. Almost a whole container, just a little bit left in the container, and we're going to cook these up to get them all softened. So you want to get these all boiled up and make sure they are softened. So you're going to use the chicken stock and you're going to use the vegetables, so nothing's going to go to waste. So you're going to also need some butter, and this is what she says: if it's too dry, you're just going to add a little bit more stock, and if it's too wet, you're just going to add another egg. So we will see how much stock we use here in a little bit after we get our vegetables softened. Alright, y'all, so once they're good and softened, you want to go ahead, we're going to turn our heat off, and then we are going to melt down 1/3 cup of butter. Alright, here's our cornbread and our biscuits. We're going to put 1/3 cup of melted butter in here. Okay, and then we're going to start adding, and this is about 4 cups of broth and our softened vegetables. So we're going to start adding that in a little at a time and mix it up. And she said 2 cans, which is about 2 cups in each can, and that's about what we got in here. Let's get all of our vegetables in there and stir it up. There's just a little bit left in here, and I'm going to pour the rest of that in there. So we use so far 32 ounces of chicken stock. We got to get our egg in here, but I want to get this well combined first. I'm going to add another cup of chicken stock and mix that in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my egg. I'll get my egg in here. Mix all this together. And we're going to put this in a greased casserole dish. So instead of adding the 1 cup extra of the stock, you can just go ahead and you can add a can of cream of chicken if you want. This is the original way that she made it. As time progressed, sometimes she added a cream of chicken, but then again, this recipe back in the time didn't have cream of chicken. So we're just going to do it the original way, but you can add a cream of chicken if you like. So you want a greased baking dish, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this in the baking dish, and we are going to cook this 350 degrees from anywhere to 35 to 45 minutes. So we got that all in there. So I'm just going to smush it around just a little bit, and then we are going to put this in 350 degrees for 35 to 45 minutes, and that'll be done. So Like again, you can take it if you want. If you want to add in the chicken, some more chicken stock or a cream of chicken, that will work fine. Cream of celery would be good too because there's celery already in there. But we will see you back here in about 45 minutes. Alright y'all, it is all done. So it's been in there for 45 minutes. If you want to bump up the heat to get it more golden brown on the top, you can do that. I also want to let you know that my grandmother takes pats of butter and she puts it on top as well. You can do that or you don't have to do that. It's not a big deal. She takes about 2 tablespoons, cuts it up and just puts it on top and puts it in the oven to cook. So I'm going to get ready and I'm going to pull a little bit out here so you can see what it looks like. I took a little bit out and I'm going to chop that up to cool it down a little bit. But this is something for you, to make on Thanksgiving, or you can make it for any time of year just for a side dish. Give this a try. If anybody has any comments, questions, or concern, don't hesitate to reach out. This recipe is in the cookbook. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day.